Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe, with my co-host, Cantu, on the other side. What a weekend it was, Angel. What a weekend it was.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a little golf trip with the boys. Uh, Pretty nice there. But yeah, and then the Astros got the sweep too. Yeah, but I mean, overall, great weekend if you're an Astros baseball fan, and a great weekend for us too. I know like hitting the greens pretty nice.
Calming ourselves down, getting ready for postseason baseball, getting ready for all that type of good
Oh, and then the
stuff.
Texans got the W too. That was a
That was the
hard
main
fought.
reason why we didn't record on Sunday night,
Yeah,
which it was a scruffy game, honestly.
yeah,
Very offense wasn't the best, but defense kind of held it down. It's like in week one, the offense was carrying everything, but then the defense wasn't doing really too well. And then it kind of reversed in this week against the Bears and Caleb Williams. I did not think it was going to be a close game, and shit, sure enough, it was pretty damn close.
yeah, absolutely.
But episode 215, Astros flying high out of Anaheim. Look at that. I'm not even a poet, and you didn't even know it. But yeah, I mean, the Astros, like you had mentioned, Angel, got the sweep, a 3-game sweep against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, or California Angels, or Anaheim Angels, whatever you want to call them. Very important series for them. And we both had predicted what was going to happen. Angel said that they were going to win the series. I had said the Astros were going to sweep the series. And sure enough, the Astros did bring out the booms out there against the Anaheim Angels. We got our little objectives on the side right there. Recap that Angels series. Yusei Kikuchi, the Yord is with you. Many shout out to the J. Hay, Ronel Blanco. Thoughts on JV's outing. Who's invited to the Carne Asada? San Diego pitching preview. Around the horn, train station injury news. We are getting close. It's 8:27 Central Time here in Houston, Texas on a Monday night, as the Astros will be playing in about 12 minutes or so at 8:40 against the San Diego Pods. So, Angel, how about you let everybody know where they can follow us and where they can tune in?
Absolutely. Just like we always say, you can follow us on you can find us on X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, not Facebook, but everybody like every other big platforms there. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want the ads there on the bottom of that ticker as the podcast goes on.
Yeah, and this series, man, pitching was well, offense was well. Bottom of the lineup, we'll talk about here in a second, was really good. Starting pitching, like I was mentioning before, I think it was really great because you had Justin Verlander, which, like I said, we'll talk about his outing in a minute. Yusei Kikuchi and Ronel Blanco start on the bump for, I think, the first time since I want to say KC. So let's start off with Yusei Kikuchi. Of course, you already know the tune's coming on. Oh, okay.
Nope.
Throw the lighters in the air. Throw the lighters in the air because Yusei Kikuchi. Yusei Kikuchi. I mean, I don't have a little platboard to fool around right here, but Yusei, I mean, did a dominating performance. 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. 85 pitches were thrown this time. 57 were strikes. Angel, the Astros are now 8-0 in his start since getting acquired at the trade deadline, and Kikuchi is 5-0 with a 3.19 ERA in a Astros uniform. Man, I mean, this guy has been a real asset to this starting rotation. Makes a little history too in the Astros franchise. In his first 8 starts with the Astros, with 45 innings plus, sub 3.20 ERA, and 59 strikeouts, he joins. Angel, can you give me some guesses on what starting pitchers Yusei Kikuchi joined on this list? There are 4 pitchers, including himself, on this list.
Well, I know Justin Verlander was great when he came for the Astros. Is he one of them?
So that's one of them right there.
Thinking big picture trades. Maybe Randy Johnson, Andy Pettit.
Randy Johnson is on this list as well.
So
what are the rest? 2 out of the 4 right now.
Talk to me.
2004, Roger Clemens.
Ooh.
You mentioned Randy Johnson. That was in 1998. Justin Verlander, obviously, that run he had in the second half in 2017. And then you missed the guy that's in New York right now who recently walked, Rafael Devers, which we'll talk that around the horn. 2018, Garrett Cole.
Yeah, I forgot. Gary Cole was pretty elite when he came over too.
Yeah, that 2019 season between him and Justin Verlander was immaculate. Vibes were immaculate at that time. But of course, you remember everybody tuning in, giving their chime about this whole trade from Yusei Kikuchi, a 4+ ERA kind of guy.
You know, we were one of them too.
And yes, we were, because it was like, okay, it just depends on the trade. You're going to go give a 4 ERA and you're going to trade away 3 of your prospects in the farm system. You admit, yeah, we were one of those guys. But of course, Yusei Kikuchi remembered everyone's reaction regarding, as in the Astro fans, when the Astros traded for him at the deadline. And this was talking to the media in post game. And this is from him, what he had said, quote, "Obviously, I heard a lot of what the fans had to say and stuff. From there, I just want to think that our GM, Dana Brown, he made an awesome decision. I just want to prove to everybody what I'm capable of. Everything is going well right now, but obviously we have one goal in mind as a team, and that is just to win the World Series." What a mindset from a guy like that. And when he had his press conference, whenever the Astros acquired him at the trade deadline, that was another thing he kept saying. I came here to win a World Series. I want to experience that. He's already experienced the postseason with the Blue Jays, but winning a World Series or even sniffing a World Series, playing at least in that type of environment, Kikuchi has never done that. And he's just done a fantastic job really proving a lot of doubters wrong. And, obviously, too, with us, I know I was one of them. You were one of them. We're kind of like looking at each other like, okay, well, the Astros traded 3 prospects for a guy with a 4+ ERA. I remember we talked about too that we kind of took over the next day, kind of thought about it, put our heads on the pillow, and I even read an article on The Athletic and it had mentioned the stuff that compares to other dominant starters in the league, like Tyler Glasnow, Dylan Cease, which the Astros will see here in a minute too. And sure enough, I mean, he's just done a fantastic job with this rotation, this organization. I mean, I really don't have a lot to say about him. He's only had one rough start. I would say that was against the Diamondbacks. He only gave up 4 earned runs. But other than that, I mean, he's really looked prolific in an Astros uniform.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you heard in the podcast. I mean, sorry, like on the broadcast, Kikuchi heard all the stuff that was being said about, like the trade and what the Astros' first reaction was and everything like that. And
But the Astros or the Astros fans?
sorry, the Astros fans. Yeah,
Okay.
like you were saying.
Yeah.
So being able to kind of like shut them up, like you were saying, like that's pretty phenomenal there. And I wouldn't be surprised, like I've been saying too, like I think the Astros make a run for Yusei Kikuchi just because they might lose Justin Verlander. There's still some question marks in the rotation if he does leave. Just like who's gonna be filling that 4 or 5 gap? Because I think you have your it'll be Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Spencer Getty, Ronel Blanco in the next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as the past 2 seasons have seen, you can never have too much arms, too much pitching. So I think they're gonna make a run at Kikuchi to get that load as well.
Yeah, and you got to remember too that you got guys coming off the injured list after this season. You're going to get guys back like JP France. If everything goes well for 2 of these guys, I'm going to say Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers Jr., then you'll see them in the rotation as well. Jose Urquidy and Christian Javier are going to be coming back from Tommy John surgery, so they won't be prepared for spring training. More than likely, they'll be making their 2025 debut probably in the middle part of the season. But like you're saying, you can't really have enough pitching. I think that's what the Astros kind of figured out this past offseason. They didn't sign any type of starting pitchers. And you saw the results, how it happened at the beginning of the season. They were already battling injury bug, starting to lose pitchers. They had to bring up Spencer Arrighetti. Of course, you had that one kid that played for the University of Texas. That one start over there at in Arlington.
Blair
Henley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't have a lot too much pitching. I'm interested to see what the Astros do this next coming offseason because, in my opinion, nothing against Justin Verlander, I just don't think the Astros bring him back. Obviously, you're seeing the results how it is, after coming off this IL stint. He didn't pick up the win against the Angels in his start, but he still looks a little shaky. So I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if you're the Astros to possibly go get a Kikuchi. I don't know what the contract would look like. I don't know what the money would be thrown on the table, but to me, if you're gonna go get Kikuchi, maybe a 2-3 year deal would look nice in that favor with some type of option.
Absolutely, I agree with you there.
But I did forget to mention he has 2 or 3 more starts left, and we're still on Kikuchi before we move on. If he continues this trend, where are you putting him on this trade deadline acquisition in franchise history? Because the Astros have made some splashes in the trade deadline. What would you put him on that list? Give us the top 3 at least.
Oh, I mean, I would say top 5.
Oh, okay, top 5 then.
Yeah, top 5. I mean, because you got to remember, like the Astros have made some great trades throughout, their franchise. Like they've also made some blunders too. I would say maybe Yordan Alvarez is number 1 clearly.
But that wasn't a trade deadline acquisition.
Trade deadline acquisition. They even trades in general.
No.
Ooh. I would say Justin Verlander is still number 1. Just the fact that it came with a World Series in that year, and they were able to do that. I would say Kikuchi 2, and maybe Roger Clemens at 3.
I don't think Roger Clemens was a acquisition deadline.
My bad. I was going on based on this. I don't know what to throw. Maybe Zach Greinke. I mean,
that's what I was like waiting for you to say.
Yeah,
man, I don't know. If we're talking top 3, those are great ones. If we're talking top 5, then I like the order that you were saying. If, like I was saying, if Kikuchi does go on this trend of what he's been doing since he's come with the Astros, and then maybe goes to the World Series, then yeah, he's going to be 2nd, and Zach Greinke will be 3rd.
Yeah.
The hard part for me is kind of like, okay, where do you put that Randy Johnson trade in 1998? That's the part for me that I'm kind of like, oh shit, like he had a dominant freaking run in that late season of the 98 season. So I'm like, I put him for even the Yainer Diaz trade for Miles Straw. That doesn't give enough love, honestly. That does not get enough love. That was the James Click era, trading away Miles Straw, which was a fan favorite, and getting Phil Maton, who was really good in the bullpen for the Astros, and a prospect named Yainer Diaz. And look what Yainer's doing right now. I remember you sent me a tweet maybe 2 days ago, or maybe yesterday actually, the comparison between him and Ali Rutschman, and then there was that also the baseball reference of him being on the list with Buster Posey.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I was working at a D on fantasy on the side. I missed your.
Don't even worry about it. This time, nah. We're gonna move on to the Yord is with you, because we were supposed to have it yesterday, but like we said, it was Sunday Night Football. But Yordan Alvarez, what he's done on the road has just been magnificent. And like I said, it's supposed to be Sunday. It's the Lord's Day, but we'll move it on to Monday because there's some masses on Monday. But Yordan Alvarez continues to mash away from Minute Maid Park on the road. Wasn't a pretty stat line in this series. 2 for 11, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 3 walks. But them 2 home runs were very important in this series. Obviously, Mickey Moniak making a play at center, almost robbing a home run from Alvarez. Didn't get it on time. And then one of the other home runs hitting to right over Tyler Anderson, giving the Astros the lead. So interested to see what this series is going to look like, because you got guys like Yu Darvish, Michael King, Dylan Cease. These are great pitchers, really postseason pitchers that you'll probably see in a postseason rotation. And what Yordan Alvarez is doing right now, getting closer to that October month, it's a great sign for Astros fans.
Yeah, it's a bigger ballpark, but I don't think that's ever deterred Yordan Alvarez. Just with that power. So, and I would say the Padres do have a little bit better pitching staff, so it might be harder to hit one out. But I mean, Yordan Alvarez is Yordan Alvarez. I think he can hit off anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he could lefty, righty, or what do you call the pitchers from that can pitch right and left?
Ambidextrous.
Yes, even those guys. You could put them on the bump, and he'll still find a way to hit.
When was the last time there was an ambidextrous pitcher? I think it was a few years ago, right? I think It's like maybe
I don't.
3-4 years ago.
I'm not 100% sure. I know some team drafted
Yeah, I think I did hear that.
a kid from Mississippi State that could pitch righty and left. 90 plus too, man. That's gift. That's just
Yeah,
gifted right there. God given right there.
yeah. You think Billy Wagner could have been ambidextrous? I know he was pitching right-handed and taught himself how to throw lefty. You think that could have been possible?
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know how it was back then in the day. Like if there was a strict rule saying, okay, you only pitch one side of the mound. But yeah, you do make a good point. If he didn't have that injury, maybe
Yeah.
maybe he does go lefty.
I think they had to have like a special glove made in like Japan or something, where it has
Well, if you see the guy's glove from Mississippi, I think the kid got drafted from Mississippi State. I want to say
mhm,
he went over there. But if you looked at his glove, it's kind of like it has two little pockets on the right side and the left side.
mhm,
So obviously, then you can put your finger
yeah,
on each side.
that's
That's
crazy.
just God given, man.
Yeah,
90
absolutely.
plus from both sides.
That's that's more than talent, like you said. That's more than that.
Isn't there a movie that that does that? Like they try to go right, and then he goes to the left side of the batter's box, and then he goes on the right side on the batter's box. I
Isn't
can't
that the
remember the
perfect
movie. I
game?
know it's a baseball movie.
The perfect game, like it's with the little league, right?
Is it the perfect game? I think so.
I I
I
could
think
be
you might
wrong.
be right. I think
I
you might
could
be
be
right.
wrong, but okay. Yeah, because I remember. I actually remember seeing that movie. I think I remember that scene, but again, I'm not too sure.
I think you might be right. That might be it. So check that out. Let's give a little love to Jason Hayward since being with the Astros, man. Mini shout out to Jay Hay. Ben Gamel did get hurt in one of those games. It was in game 2 and crashed into the wall. The Astros pulled him out, and Jason Hayward just slid right in. Started game 3, and he really had a great series against the Angels. Of course, he was still in the LA area, not LA area, but California area, 45 minutes away from LA. Anaheim is, and he thought he was still with the Dodgers and thought he had that pop still. 4 for 5 with a home run, 2 RBIs, even showing off the wheels with a stolen base, dude. Fifth
Still has
stolen
it.
base of the season.
Still has it.
Still has it. 16-year vet
How old
showing
is
the
he?
legs. I don't know, maybe 36.
I'm looking it up right now.
But hey, he's gonna have
35.
35.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have an important role right now because if Ben Gamel's hurt for a good while,
Yeah.
the Astros are kind of down to some outfielders, man. Jazz McCormick obviously on the IL with that small fracture in his hand. If Ben Gamel has to miss some time going to IL stand, more than likely the Astros may call, I would say, Trey Cabbage or Pedro Leon. That's the only 2 guys I would see for the outfield, I would say.
Honestly, I think it would be Cabbage, just because he has a little bit more experience with it, moving up and down with the team.
Yeah, it could be. And with the outfielders right now, what the Astros have, Kyle Tucker, Jake Meyers, Yordan Alvarez. Of course, you're throwing Mauricio Dubon out there time to time, and Jason Hayward. So that's 5 outfielders, 4 if we're counting Dubon as a utility guy. So maybe the Astros do, if Gamel has to go on an IL stint, probably go out and go get a outfielder.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's any update on that. So let's see. What I know soon.
Definitely. But lastly, on the recap of this Angel series, Ronel Blanco getting back on the bump for the first time. Like I said, since I think it was a KC start that he had. Of course, he only had 1 appearance out of the bullpen, did really well against the Diamondbacks. But in this start, he looked really Ronel Blanco-ish from his first half of the season. 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. 92 pitches were thrown, 58 of them were strikes. The Astros are now 18-9 in his starts. He still is one of the best in the American League in starting pitching. Angel ranks first in the AL in opponent batting average, 190, hits per 9 innings, 611. Second in ERA with a 288. Framber Valdez is just behind him with a 291. And then last but not least, 6 in opponent OPS with a 628. Man, it's a hard conversation, which will come up with the thoughts on JV in a minute. But Ronel Blanco, honestly, he has a spot on the postseason roster if the Astros make it. I just wouldn't see how if he doesn't make it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronel Blanco's either going to be in a bullpen or even a starter if JV doesn't get fix what he needs to fix. But other than that, yeah, I think he's just locking him and Eric Getty are locked in for the bullpen unless something happens to one of the starters.
Yeah, so let's already go on and move into the thoughts on JV's outing. I don't know if you saw his start, Angel. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. I mean, it was a shaky first inning. 89 pitches total, 58 of them were strikes. But going back to that first inning, I mean, command was off, wasn't there really too sharp on it. 27 pitches in the first, just didn't look so well in the beginning. Obviously, he kind of settled down. But the thing of this start was the defense really backing him up. I mean, it was huge for specifically the outfielders in general, what they did in this game. Jake Meyers is catch in center. If he doesn't make that catch in the first, more than likely it'd be 3 or 4 plus runs on the board in the first inning. We wouldn't know what the outcome would be out of it. Mauricio Dubon making a great range over there in left, catching and sliding at the wall, making that catch. And then obviously, like we were talking about, Ben Gamel tracking down the ball in right, slamming into the wall um, in that part. So said the command was a little iffy. It wasn't really strong in this start. I think really in all these starts, it just hasn't been there for him. And we were talking about Ronel Blanco, possible starter, possible guy you could see in the bullpen. And honestly, give me your thoughts of this start for Justin Verlander. How do we feel about him after this start? I'm pretty sure I think there are 2 more starts for him left.
Yeah.
What are we thinking getting closer to October now?
Yeah. Well, I want to start off that that's what that's what defense is there to make those great catches, and you can't defend walks, but you can defend those warning track shots. And I mean, the Astros really kind of showed that. So, I mean, the defense was spectacular for Justin Verlander, and he was. I mean, yes, the command wasn't there, but he was still doing his job. Like limited to 2 walks is pretty phenomenal. 4 hits as well. However, this was Angels team whose offensive woes have been a big factor of why the record is the way it is. So, I mean, you look at the positives, right? He pitched 5 innings and had 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, but it wasn't, like you said, one of the best starts for Verlander. And honestly, like I touched on earlier, like if we can't figure it out, I think the Astros are gonna have to find. I still think, for example, wild card or the AODS, he will be the fourth pitcher in the thing. However, if we can't figure it out in the playoffs or before the playoffs, then yes, Verlander's a veteran, future Hall of Famer, has all the accolades you can possibly have, clubhouse leadership, but at the end of the day, you're trying to win a World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have to do, like, Joe Spaulding's going to have to be put in a tough spot and say, hey, we want you out here. However, pass it on to the next guy. And as a leader, locker room presence, I would say that Verlander would be okay with that. It just depends. Like, I know he's a competitor. I know he wants to be out there on the mound every single day if he could, right? Because just like that's just a competitor he is. But at the end of the day, it's going to be winning games. So I mean, if we can figure it out, that's just another deadly weapon for the Astros. But as of right now, you're kind of shaking your head of what could possibly see now for contract disputes. Like this might be a terrible take, right? But I feel like if the Astros were to resign Justin Verlander, I think it'll be a little bit more of the same, just the inconsistency. He'll have a great stretch where he'll be flawless, but then stretches like this where you can't figure it out. And I think it's just part of the game, part of age, analytics. It just happens. But I mean, again, I could end up on Twitter with the worst takes. Like I don't really see that thing, but that's just my opinion there.
Do you feel comfortable of having him as a starter in the postseason though right now?
That's what I'm saying.
Like as of right now, if we ended it today, you had that good start against Anaheim. That was your last start of the season. Postseason's getting here. Do you feel comfortable putting Verlander on the mound in a game 4?
I don't. However, with the experience he's had, with the like I was saying, they'll give him the chance to figure it out.
Yeah.
However, am I kind of like clenching my teeth, or am I like kind of yes?
Who makes the decision because of course there's even been kind of thoughts of maybe not even putting him on the postseason roster.
Yeah, he will be in there.
Okay, but like, give me your thoughts. If there's a guy that's gonna say it, who's gonna say it first? Would it be Joe Espada telling JB like, "Hey, like I'm sorry to tell you this, man, but we're gonna go this different direction right here"? and this and that? Or do you think JV, knowing that he hasn't been pitching really well this second half, well, really not second half, but coming off the IL, do you think he steps forward and say, Joe, I'm just not in there yet. If maybe we make the next round, possibly I can get back on. But as of right now, I just don't feel comfortable. I know we could put the team in a better position. Who do you think would say something first?
I can't answer that for sure just because I don't know what's.
Of course, we don't know what's
Yeah,
being said, but
exactly. But
if you're in the
if I
shoes
would,
of if you're in the shoes of Justin Verlander, let's say right now, and you're going through this right now, who would you want your manager to tell you like, hey, sorry about this and this and that, or you, veteran pitcher, World Series champion, Cy Young Award winner, looking at how you're pitching these last couple of games, do you maybe say something?
I would say to answer your question, I would say Joe Espada's going to make the call. The reason is, Justin Verlander, like I was saying earlier, he's a competitor. He feels like, and he should feel like that just because of all the great things he's done. I'm sure he feels that every fifth day, he has to step to dominate a dominate a team, and he does. He's proved it on and on for so long. So I would say if a decision is going to be made to not start him, it's going to come from Joe Espada.
Mhm.
Now, will he be happy with that decision? Initially, probably not. Like I'm like again, because he's just a competitor, right? He feels like he feels like the best way to help his team is to be on that mound, pitching great. However, as time goes on, maybe like a day or two, he'll. I, I'm sure Justin Verlander's gonna put the team first,
Mhm.
right? And I'm sure he'll respect the decision. Obviously, I don't think he'll be happy with the decision, but at the end of the day, the goal is to win a World Series. That's basically it.
So this is from Brian McTaggart's article after that game, after his start. These are quotes from Verlander. He said, quote, I feel like the stuff was okay, Verlander said. The velo wasn't as good as it's been, but the shapes were good. They made me work pretty hard. His last start, if you remember, he mentioned that his velo was really good. It was up a tick as well.
Yeah.
Then here's another quote. He said, quote, obviously, I was out of sync early, and I'm working on a lot of stuff, Verlander said. I felt I was able at least quell that a bit. They made some good defensive plays behind me, which we had mentioned. Overall, it's still a step in the right direction, but still tough outs. Lastly, not last least, here's another quote. It says, "It's start to start at this point. It's start to start at this point." Wow. Verlander said, I'm trying to play catch up. I felt like, unfortunately, before I got hurt, I got on a little bit of a good run there and found my mechanics. And then a neck injury and kind of lost it and obviously lost a lot of time. I'm trying as quickly as I can to get back to that version where I'm tougher to hit than I am right now. Really, the only time you can get a sense for how your stuff is perceived is when hitters are in the batter's box. And there's that instinctual give and take that you receive from hitters. We'll reevaluate this one over the next few days and just continually try to add brick by brick in the right direction and continue to improve. End quote. And we talked to Omar Vizquel. If you haven't gone to see that interview with him, make sure you go check it out on our YouTube. And he said one of the things about Verlander is he's going to go back on that iPad and he's going to go look at the video and see how to get better, what he needs to do better, what he needs to do right, what's helping him, what's not helping him, kind of things like that with the scouting reports. And if you remember too, when it was his kind of not rehab, but it was kind of his live BP, Joe Espada had I don't know if you were there that day, but
I wasn't there, but I remember.
told the media that okay, well, he's gonna throw a live BP, but I think it was just with hitters tracking the ball. The next day comes along, and you're having hitters like hit the ball. And Verlander had said after that bullpen, he likes to see what the hitters are doing. He likes to see, are they chasing after it? Are they going, are they taking this pitch? How are they reacting to this off speed? All this type of stuff. He's a guy that likes to see it happen through the motion instead of just tracking pitches. Tracking pitches is actually going to help a hitter more than a pitcher.
Mm.
So Verlander being like I said, the accolades that Harry announced, he's going to find a way to get better. But as of right now, if like we're talking about Joe Spada, I'm leaning towards maybe giving Ronel Blanco a start, man. What he's done this
Hmm?
season, I think you got to give him. I want to say you got to give him a start.
Yeah, I mean, there's no wrong choice, honestly.
Honestly, you know,
Yeah, like it could go either way. And he has a tough decision. I mean, that's like I'm glad we're honestly I'm glad we're not in that like the ones making that call because that's a tough decision.
yeah,
It's like you're going into the playoffs as a manager. You're thinking who's gonna give me the best chance to win.
yeah.
Do you rely on a guy whose accolades speak for themselves, having a tough stretch, but can sw- it could take a batter in that first inning and he's a different person, or you can get like with Ronel Blanco, who equally has deserved it because he pitched well.
Yeah.
Obviously, a little fatigue kicked in at the end, but
18-9 in his last starts when the Astros
yeah.
have him on the mound. As of right now, with Justin Verlander, before that start against Anaheim, 0-4 with a 9+ ERA.
However,
However, go ahead.
remind me, did Ronel Blanco pitch in the postseason last year?
No, he did not.
So maybe that inexperience in the playoffs could be the ultimate difference maker there. Just because I'm sure Ronel Blanco pitched, growing up. I'm sure he's pitched in some crucial games where he was a deciding factor. However, MLB playoffs are a different atmosphere there, especially if they like, for example, say that is a wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
That fourth pitcher is probably going to be an away game
too. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crucial, and it's gonna be most like if the Astros again if it's a wild card series, the Astros are gonna be on game,
I want to
away.
say, are they away on that third game if it's a best of 3?
Oh, you're right. I forgot it's best of three, not best
Is
of
all the
four.
home games at home?
Yeah, okay, my bad. Wild card, all the games are at home. Yes, the ALDS is when it starts.
ALDS is
Yeah,
when it goes like that.
yeah, my bad. But I'm saying like pitching on the road in the playoffs is a pretty tough matchup. It just depends again where the games is played and stuff like that.
I think it just depends on the pitcher too, because you're saying the inexperience and all that stuff, but go to guys like Luis Garcia, 2020. He obviously there was no crowd during the COVID season. 2021, he's pitching in the World Series against the Atlanta Braves. He's pitching one of the best games against the Boston Red Sox in the ALCS. Same goes for Christian Javier, who's been really remarkable in the postseason when he pitches. Obviously, that last start against Texas really didn't help his resume in the postseason. But other than that, take away that game, and this guy has thrown a freaking no-hitter in one of the most hostile environments in Major League Baseball at Philly. Okay. So to me, it's not because Hunter Brown has gone from the bullpen and pitched in Seattle. JP France as well. So you won't know until something happens for that pitcher. Maybe Ronel Blanco likes it. He played in the DR in the Winter League. I'm not saying the Winter League is postseason baseball, but the atmosphere, at least, I would say the energy that goes through the crowd during them times, especially when you're playing for a championship game in the DR with the Estrellas, maybe that does help him out. Maybe that experience from over there, he could take it into over here in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, there's no wrong answer, honestly. I
think the safest thing that the Astros are going to probably do, this is just my opinion, is probably going to put Justin Verlander in Game 4 and have a piggyback starter a piggyback guy like Spencer Arrighetti, Ronel Blanco. Same goes for Yusei Kikuchi. If Kikuchi's in trouble in that middle relief part, you're going to put a guy like Blanco or Arrighetti.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I'm glad we're on the other side just watching because it's a tough choice. I think, and just I'm gonna update you all. Astros are down 1-0 to the Padres. The Padres did score in the first inning. I know, because I know we're recording as they're playing. Yeah, as the game's going on, so I want to keep you updated there. But again, tough decision there. But
yes, share your comments too if you want to chime in and say what do y'all think about what happens. Does JV be on the postseason roster? Does he get a start? Does he go with the bullpen? Any of that type of stuff. Make sure you drop in the comments and let us know, and we'll put you on.
Yeah, Manny Machado with an RBI double is a way it's covered. But we'll update you on that. But are we ready for the Carne Asada?
We are ready.
Nice. Hey, it was a good weekend to barbecue. I know those tailgates were pretty fire for the Texans game. I'm sure they're gonna be ready this week again. But let's start with Yordan Alvarez. He went 2 for 8, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a walk. Again, his only 2 hits were bombs, and that's that's as Yordan Alvarez as it gets there. He recorded his 163rd home run, tying him with Cesar Cedeno for 9th most in Astros history. It seems so like a short time ago where Yordan Alvarez made his debut, and now he's 9th in Astros history in home runs. That just shows how remarkable he's been. And honestly, if those few, like I think it was 2 seasons when he was kind of batting with injuries, he could honestly be a lot closer to 200 home runs if that doesn't happen.
Well, that 2020 season, he only played one game and then
Yeah,
missed the whole season. So
yeah. So
got a
it
point.
could have been, and then like just to add to that, how we could be close to 200. Alvarez has recorded at least 30 home runs in his last 4 seasons. So
Does he
long
get the
ball.
Bagwell though? Because I think Bagwell is the one that leads the franchise with home runs in a single season. I think it's like 40 something. I'll double check for you.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking. I mean, there's a chance. I I think with Jordan Alvarez power, like it's crazy to me that he went a long stretch without hitting a home run at Minute Maid Park. I think that would. I feel like Minute Maid Park plays to his strength, and like sometimes not able to take advantage. Is crazy, but I think he could be just because he plays at Minute Maid Park.
So Jeff Bagwell has the most home runs for the Astros in a season with 47 in 2000.
It's possible. It's not
That's
like
crazy how nobody has gotten 50.
hasn't that. I mean, it's kind of hard.
I
50 home
mean,
runs.
Aaron Judge hitting 62 all of a sudden. So why not?
Yeah. Nah, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. But you know who had himself a series to be Jeremy Peña. Really had himself a series. In all 3 games, he recorded 2 hits. He was 6 for 13 with 3 runs, 1 RBI, and a stolen base. And Jeremy Peña's speed has been such a factor. Using his legs is pretty phenomenal. Has been such a great thing for Jeremy Peña. It helps his batting average too. He leads the majors with 32 infield hits, besting Bobby Witt Jr., who's in second place with 26 in that category.
Just had 27 today. He had an infield single.
Oh, there you go, 27. But Jeremy Peña still edges him out by a little bit.
Yeah.
And he also has the most infield hits in the season by an Astro since Altuve did it with 32 in 2019.
So they're tied then.
You're tied.
It's 32 and 32.
Yeah, they're tied.
Pretty sure there could be one more in there.
I think so too. But yeah, I mean, he's been using his legs, and I think that's something we touched on earlier on in the season. Just like the way Jeremy Peña's been spinning out of that box, being at those infield hits, it's the difference between a run and obviously like an 1, 2, 3 inning for the pitcher.
Taking an extra base. That was the Joe Spada philosophy in spring training.
And I think they've done a good job to live up to that philosophy.
They have.
Honestly.
They have done a really good job. Taking an extra base here, not settling for one base, going for the other, drag bunts, infield singles like Jeremy Peña, what he's doing. I mean, yeah, they've done a really good job doing that.
How many stolen bases did they have last year? Like these are stolen bases for this year. Altuve has 21 stolen bases, Peña 17, Myers 10, Tucker 10, McCormick 8, Álvarez 6 this year, Bregman 3, Dubon 3, Diaz 2, Leon 2, Ufuda 2, Cabbage, Hayward, and Hummel all have 1. If you want to do the math, I don't know.
I'm not trying to do math. My brain is fried. I want to try to do math at this moment.
Let me see. Wait, you know what? I'm so dumb. I could have done it. So, oh wait, no, this doesn't work. Never mind.
We'll find it out later. I'm not trying to search from last year. But I can't even find it.
But I think they surpassed that number from last year.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job. They've done a really good job this year.
And I'm gonna agree with Lorenzo about showing Jason Hayward some love. He did make the Carne Asada this week too. He batted 800, 4 for 5 with a home run, 2 RBIs. Those stats really came from that Sunday's game when he went 3 for 3 with a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. It also marked his first three-hit game with a home run a year since September 17th at Seattle. He also hit his first home run as an Astro Thursday in October. I think this is what his second home run as an Astro.
Yeah, his first home run was against the
Oakland.
A's
Yeah.
and right, and then this one against the Angels.
Yeah, so 2 home runs for the Astros. I mean, I do agree with you where he's gonna have to play big just because there's a little like Ben Gamel we haven't heard much about. Like following his crash into the wall. But how confident are you to see Jason Hayward and Kyle Tucker platoon for a little bit as Kyle Tucker makes his way back?
I think I'm comfortable with it. You got a veteran guy that has experience, Gold Glove, and all that type of stuff. And right, yeah, I mean, there's no hesitation for me to put him in right because Kyle Tucker's still coming back day by day. They've already mentioned that. So putting Hayward out there, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be the bad or worse idea to do it. Like honestly.
Yeah, and Tucker hit a bomb too. So I mean, and I don't know if you saw him chase down that fly ball. I think it was like the first inning, Friday's game when he had to run all the way from right field all the way by the past the foul line by the wall and make that catch. So I mean, it wasn't a full on sprint, but you know, it shows that he's getting better.
Yeah.
And then
day by day.
Yeah. And Ronel Blanco, I'm not gonna read you the I use the same stat as you. So I just read you the pitching line and then we're ready to move on. So Ronel Blanco again, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And then obviously like if you missed that debate earlier about Ronel Blanco, Justin Verlander, you can catch that tomorrow when this video is posted.
Yeah, and then not to mention, I forgot to add this to the recap. Bottom part of the order really did a good job.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
6 through 9 did good. Jeremy Peña, Jake Meyers, Mauricio Dubon, Victor Caratini, Jason Hayward, Kyle Tucker getting a pitch hit in one of those at bats. Friday, 7 for 16 with a double and 2 walks. Saturday wasn't their best, 3 for 14 with that home run, 2 RBIs. The home run coming from King Tuck. And then Sunday, 7 for 14 with 5 RBIs.
Yeah, that
Friday's game, though, there was no RBIs, but it did lead for the guys in the top of the order to come up with runners in scoring position, and those guys capitalized because of the bottom part.
Yeah, literally 1 through 4 on Sunday's game was offers. So that like you're right, like that bottom of the lineup really stepping up there to put up 6 runs on the board. Pretty phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, definitely forgot to put them out there on the recap. But get this pitching preview out the way. They're over there at Petco Park playing as right now, like Angel gave us the update with the Padres leading 1-0 in game 1. They're 85 and 65, 6 and 4 in their last 10 games. Second in the National League West, which they are not too far behind from the Dodgers. I think they're like 3.5 maybe from them. First in the National League wild card though. And Monday, they had Spencer Arrieta for the Astros, Yu Darvish for the Padres. This will be Darvish's third start coming back from injury. He's been injured really the majority part of the season, I would say, and hasn't faced the Astros since 2021. So I don't know the stat line, what's going on right now, but you did mention Manny Machado had an RBI double, 1-0. Astros are losing to the Padres as of right now.
Right now, Yu Darvish has thrown 2 innings with only no hits, only allowing 1 walk and 1 strikeout.
Very interested to see what happens there. Tuesday, 8:40 start time as well. Hunter Brown, 3-6 with a 5.30 ERA. That doesn't sound right. Michael King, on the other hand, 12-9 with a 3.06 ERA. Hunter Brown's last start versus the Oakland Athletics, 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. It wasn't his best. I guess this would be the second worst start in his little turnaround part of the rotation since I would say the Chicago White Sox. 97 pitches were thrown in this start. 62 of them were strikes. Like I had mentioned the last episode, missed a lot of his locations and his pitches. Command wasn't really efficient that he was hoping for. A lot of hard contact, especially off of him coming from guys like Brent Rooker, JJ Bleday. Yeah, it was just very unfortunate hit for him, but he's looking for a bounce back start against a team over there in San Diego.
Yeah, and just to help Lorenzo out, Hunter Hunter Brown 11 for 8, 3.59 ERA.
11 and 8, 359 ERA. Michael King. This is a guy that the Astros have seen during his tenure with the New York Yankees. Now, the Padres had moved him into a starting role. Last started against the Mariners, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Last start versus the Astros, like I said, he was with the Yankees at the time. And his only start against Houston, he did really well. Got the win in that one as well. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Career versus Houston, he's done really phenomenal against them. 3-1 with a 2.61 ERA. But post All-Star break as well, continuing to, I guess, give him the hype of what he's been doing this second half of the season. 2.31 ERA with an opponent batting average of 2.16. So this is a guy that's been doing really well for the Padres. I think that trades are looking well for them as well.
Yeah, very good acquisition. I know he was in the Juan Soto deal.
The Juan Soto deal.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out for them. Hey, they're almost a few games out of the division. They're battling hard there too. So
it was a slow start for them. I would say it was a good trade for both sides. Obviously, the Padres getting 4 or 5 prospects.
Yeah, they got a lot.
3 prospects and 2 major league players. Higashioka's over there too with the Pods, and then obviously Juan Soto being the prize gem for the Yanks.
Yeah, and like you said it earlier, right? Just 3 games back from the Dodgers. They're first in wild card spot too. So, they're eyeing the postseason.
Yeah, they've been doing really well in these past couple games. Wednesday, 5:40 start time. Framber Valdez is on the mound for the Astros, 14-6 with a 2.91 ERA. He'll be going against Dylan Cease, a guy that the Astros have seen from his times over there in Chi-Town. 13-11 with a 3.58 ERA. And La Grasa in his last appearance against the Athletics, 6 in the third, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 96 pitches, 65 number of strikes. Has pitched 3 consecutive quality starts. He has yet to pitch at Petco Park. This is going to be the first time since Framber Valdez in 2020. I don't know if you remember that time with the Astros in the ALCS, ALDS over there in the COVID year. But Astros do need 2020 Framber Valdez. Well, I mean, even though he's been pitching freaking phenomenal in this second half, 2020 Valdez was pretty damn good too, I would say, during that 2020 season.
No, yeah. Again, he's been looking like the ace. The Astros, the Astros know and can count on him. He's been pretty phenomenal. But honestly, just remarkable. It's kind of I think we kind of ran out of adjectives describing Framber Valdez because he's been pretty great.
Yeah, Frambo, Framtastic,
Lambo,
Framberize. I mean, there's a lot of adjectives we're taking away. But Dylan Cease, like I was mentioning, former White Sox starting pitcher, last start against the San Francisco Giants, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, double-digit strikeouts for Cease. His last start versus Houston, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Angel, I have to tell you this, man. He's yet to beat the Astros in his 6 starts. And when you go look at those starts, he pitched really damn well, and he just hasn't picked up the win in those starts when he's on the mound. The thing about Cease is he has a lot of pitches in his arsenal. I believe he has 7 pitch arsenal. If not 7, it's 6. But one of the best off-speed pitches in Major League Baseball is his slider. It's one of the best in the league. Second best pitch in the arsenal that he has. A 161 opponent batting average on that pitch. Has thrown 134 strikeouts. Next best in Ks, you're going from 134 to 64 strikeouts. And that is on his 4-seam fastball. Staying with the slider, 44.9 whip percentage, 15 breaking run value. That is 99 percentile. So the dude has a lot of bag of tricks up his sleeve. And the off speeds just show what he has. 4-seamer is really good. But if he's going to try to beat you with one of his best pitches, it's going to be that damn slider.
Yeah. That's a crazy preview. Yu Darvish, Michael King, Dylan Cease.
That's a postseason rotation right there.
I mean, yeah, this is basically a postseason matchup for the Astros. You're right. The Astros are gonna have to take advantage of mistakes and in the limited opportunities they get because these pitchers won't make a lot of mistakes. So when you do get them, that bloop in the blast could be like a difference. And I think this series is actually pretty good now. because you're seeing what like you said postseason pitching, so you're getting like a little head start of what's to come in the postseason, and you can kind of tweak things that didn't work, fix things that uh you know you know build on what worked and fix the things that didn't,
Yeah.
because this is a crucial series. The Astros cannot get swept. The Astros need to take the series because the Mariners are looming in the AL West.
Yeah, and as I was gonna say too, I forgot to mention their record. 81-68 is the Astros record. Mariners 77-73. They're still 4.5 games back from the Astros. The Rangers didn't do any good helping the Astros out.
I could have
I would
told you
say
that.
that they
They're gonna do no favors.
both games, I would say, I think game 1 and game 2, they gave up. One of them was a go-ahead blast on Julio Rodriguez, and then the other one, the Mariners came back and just tied the game, and the Rosarena won the game. So,
Randy Rosarena.
So yeah,
and I think that was what it was. Max Scherzer.
No, it was Kumar Rocker,
yeah, and then DeGrom. No,
Jacob DeGrom. No, Max Scherzer. Did Max Scherzer pitch Sunday?
Yeah, I think so. Let me see. I could be wrong. Let me check. I think Max Scherzer was pitching.
But DeGrom, obviously, you knew he would have a pitch count on him regardless. Kumar Rocker's a rookie. But the Rangers had all those leads and just really couldn't close the door on the Mariners. You know, the Mariners, they're really resilient too.
Oh,
they're trying to stay in the race. Who was it?
Andrew Heaney.
Andrew Heaney, yeah. Which he did have a good start in his last one against the Angels, but we're talking about Angels and we're talking about Mariners. So even though the Mariners they don't have one of the best offensive lineups in baseball.
Yeah.
Their rankings in the offense is so bad. It's like 26 or 27 last time I checked. So yeah, like you're saying, this is an important series. This is a series the Astros cannot lose, even though it's against a great team. You just can't afford to lose this series because, like you were mentioning, the Mariners are looming on the Astros right now. I don't know who the Mariners are playing actually this coming series. I got it right here on me.
Oh, you got it.
They have an off day today, but they will be playing let's see, the Yankees.
Ooh, tough series for them too.
But Mariners are at home. Of course, they got Brian Wu, who's been pitching. Man, that guy's really that's a number 5 starter on that rotation. That's how good that Mariners rotation is, dude. And that series too. And they're both postseason teams. Who's gonna want it more at the end of the day?
So they have Wu, Miller, and Gilbert pitching, and the Yankees have Gill for game 1, Cortez for game 2, and Schmidt for game 3 on that one.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think the Yankees locked up the number 1 seed because Orioles right now are dealing with some injuries and they're kind of in a mini slump.
Oh yeah, they've been playing terrible.
Yeah, they're like in a mini slump right now. So the Yankees right now have a 6-game lead in the first spot of the league in the American League, and the Guards 5 games in front of the Astros for that 2nd seed. So, man, I don't know. Maybe Houston could try to find a way to chip away and try to get that 2nd seed. Obviously, they're going to have that 3-game series at the end of the season. But, man, it's going to be very – I think the Astros are probably settling in the 3rd seed. And
then Guardians just came back on the Twins.
Yeah, we were talking about that off air. They came back with a 2-run homer in the 8th. So, yeah, I mean – very important series for the Astros, like we mentioned. They got to find a way to win this series. I don't know how. Is it sweepable? Kind of. But it's going to be it's going to be tough when you're going against guys like Darvish, Cease, and King that are probably going to pitch in the postseason. And that's a postseason rotation right there, honestly.
Have you seen Emmanuel Clase's ERA?
It's like a 0.4 something, right? If I'm not mistaken.
0.65. He has 46 saves.
2nd in the American League is Josh Hader, though. 31.
Yeah.
31 saves for Hader.
46 and
that's a huge difference, but I'm just saying. Clase is an all-star for a reason, and what he's done is really remarkable. I'm surprised he's not getting Cy Young votes, dude. What happened to that? Back then, you were able to get Cy Young votes for a closer.
Francisco Rodriguez almost winning Cy Young, too.
Him, Eric Gagne, I think I don't know if he won.
Mariano Rivera.
He had a chance. Mario Rivera. Man. What he's done actually is really remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta show some love to the closers too, because they do I mean, that's a very hit. Like that's a job I wouldn't want. It's like you get to save, you're a hero, you blow it. Like everybody's on the ball. Like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? So I mean, that's a tough job there.
Shit, I'll take that. I'll take that job. I'll do a closer. Come on now, put the pressure on me, baby. Pressure is a privilege, like they say.
Yeah,
Pressure is a
you're
privilege.
right. You're right. You're right. So let's move on to the trade station.
Let's do it.
5,000 wins. 5,000 wins for the Astros. The Astros on Friday became only the 18th club in Major League history to reach 5,000 wins. That just shows. I mean, and it's crazy to think about because they started off 1962. Obviously, didn't trying to form a team then. Then you recap those 100 lost seasons. Like in the early 2010s. It's just the Astros have come a long way to build this dynasty, and they've had some pretty stacked teams, and like, but now this one from 20, you can even say 2015 to now, the dynasty just reigns over each of the Astros teams because they were able to win those two World Series.
And the Astros are still in the golden era of Astros baseball still. So
Yeah, still counting.
yeah, 5,002 wins now. Actually, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, 5,002.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I'm putting you in a spot.
Go ahead.
It's looking like like I'm looking at the standings of the wild card standings. Like it's looking like the Astros are probably going to be in the wild card, game.
The series.
Yeah, series. How how confident are you the Astros can break the record of getting 8 consecutive ALCS appearances?
Are we doing scale? Are we doing percentage? Are we just saying confident or non-confident?
From 1 to 10.
10 being the confident.
Yes.
Uh, I'll say an 8 actually.
8.
I'll say an 8. Yeah, because here's why. If everything where it's at right now, where the Astros are, would be the 3rd seed, and I think the last seed, who's the 6th, would be the Twins. The Astros did really well against the Twins this season. Well, no, take that back. They didn't really do too
No,
good
they didn't.
this season. But in the playoffs, they did. They beat them. They swept them actually in the 3 games. So I will say the Astros, I could see them winning the series against the Twins because just for the fact too, the Twins pitching right now is prone by the injury bug as well as their roster. Carlos Correa's barely coming back from injury. Byron Buxton's barely coming back from injury. Joe Ryan's still hurt on the IL. Bailey Ober and Pablo Lopez is really your game 1 and game 2 starter at the moment. And that's who the Astros saw last year in game 1 and game 2. So I will say they do defeat the Twins, and I could see them defeating the Guardians. The Guardians are a young team. You got a first-year manager over there, Stephen Vogt, who has postseason experience as a player, but you got guys like Stephen Kwan, who's I don't know if you've seen his second half, dude.
No, I have not.
Slump.
Really?
He's been on the slump. Jose Ramirez, too, has been on the slump. So, and like I was mentioning, too, the starters that the Cleveland Guardians have in the rotation, I think as of right now, it's only Tanner Bibby, if I can really think of. Tristan McKenzie got option to AAA. Shane Bieber, Tommy John surgery. I mean, starting rotation doesn't look really too strong. Blake Lively is a guy that they brought up. Yeah, I mean, I feel confident. Astros have the postseason experience. They play really well on the road. Just depends on the rest, man. I think that's going to be the thing for me for the Astros. It's just going to be the rest. And as well, if the Astros do win that wild card series and then they play against the Guardians, both teams are actually going to have the number against each other. Because that's literally the last series before the 24 season ends. Okay. So they're both going to go and look at the reports, look on the attack, how to get this scheme going. It's kind of like both of their numbers are being played really well, but at the same time, too, I think it just leads to the postseason experience.
Yeah, if the Guardians and the Astros do meet in the playoffs, that That's gonna be a fun series just because you bring that up. That's the last series they play against each other. Very, very familiar foes, I would say. But for me, I would say if they're able to get the bye, I'd say 8 out of 10, and the wild card 7 out of 10.
Okay, so why do you go a number down on 7 for wild card and 8? I would feel actually if it was ALDS, I feel 9 out of 10.
Okay.
But just for the fact that if they're in the wild card, I'm saying 8 out of 10 because that rest is very important in a week,
So
especially for the relievers that the Astros have been depending on. Taylor Scott pitching so many amount of innings in his career. Brian Abreu is the same way, pitched a lot of innings in his career. Um, Ryan Presley kind of looks a little shaky, but he's still one of the most dominant pitchers in the postseason. Josh Hader entering the postseason looked really well with the Padres 2 years ago. If they get the bye in that second seed, I feel confident that the Astros are 9 out of 10 going to the ALCS again, possibly maybe even winning the ALCS to go into another World Series. But as of right now, if they're in the the wild card, I'm an 8.
yeah. Well, we can hit on the point of why I was like a number smaller just because of that rest. I think the
Oh, sorry
Astros.
about that. Sorry about that.
No. It's all good. It's all good. No, because you like you made a good point. Like I think the Astros could be really reliant on that rest, and like they need it. Like you're right. Like just look at Ronel Blanco. Like he needed some time off just to come back and pitch well, just because of he's pitched more innings and has. Brian Abreu leads the league in games.
Yeah.
Eric Getty pitched a lot more innings than he has. Hunter Brown as well. So I think having that rest is going to be crucial for the Astros, and having a fresh Guardians team with an Astros team who's been playing in the wild card season. I think that's an advantage. Guardians, however, like the reason why it's a 7 is because you can never count out the Astros.
You
Like,
can't.
like that's a team that time and time again have persevered when the time gets rough. However, there's been times like, for example, last year couldn't win like one went away and couldn't take it out. So it's just like kind of inconsistent on that end, but it's a team you can't count out on. But I think they can rely much on that rest.
The only time I can think of like when the Astros struggled on the road in the postseason, not counting 2020, man, I honestly would say 2018 against the Red Sox in that ALCS. Because 2019 World Series against the Nationals, you won 3 games at Nationals Park, but you couldn't win 1 game at Minute Maid Park. That was very hurtful for the Astros. 2019 was it? Who they play in the ALCS? The Yankees.
Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah, so they won 2. I think they won both those games over there too at Yankee Stadium, or all 3, if I'm not mistaken. Goes for 2021 as well, going over there at Chicago, losing 1, and then they won that one. Going against Boston, they won 2 out of the 3. And then the Braves, obviously, they won, I think, 1 out of them. I want to say 2. So my point is the Astros do really well too on the road. I mean, like you said, you really can't count them out. They do a really good job on the road. You've seen the stats on how they hit on the road. Yordan Alvarez is a 300 plus hitter on the road. Kyle Tucker as well. Going Alex Bregman too. Jerry Peña is kind of like a split on each side. I think it's like 270, 270. The last time I had checked on the home to road splits. So this team's still a good team on the road. I think they battle through the adversity, and they just love being in the moment of when people remember, of course, that 2017 cheating scandal, the boos and all that. That just makes them thrive under that. Honestly, I just see it like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Astros are always going to be a dangerous team. That's why they are a very respected team as well. But before we move on to around the league, Spencer Getty has done the inevitable. He has struck out Luis Arraez.
So, okay.
So, Luis Arraez hadn't struck out in more than a month. 141 straight plate appearances without striking out. This is only his 3rd strikeout since the All-Star break, which is crazy.
That's how good Arraez is, honestly.
Yeah. So he struck him out in the 2nd inning. So Spencer Getty has done the inevitable.
That boy, Eric Getty, man. Let me tell you, he just loves to be in the spotlight. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, like you did say that. Yeah,
Boston, Philly. That's why I like honestly, I'm not afraid to put him in a starting role in the postseason, but at the same time too, it does come to what pitchers are hot at the right time. But I think he would make a great middle relief pitcher.
I feel like him starting in a postseason is like high risk, high reward.
Yeah,
If it
exactly.
if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, people are saying, "What are you doing?"
Why are you putting a rookie out there?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I did tell you I was gonna have an update on Ben Gamel. There is no update. All that we know is that he has a left knee contusion. Obviously, the Astros are away, so we can't give you that. You know, we're not in San Diego to get that information from. I think so. We just gotta wait on the beat reporters to, ask away.
Gotcha.
And around the horn, Roberto Clemente day, pretty phenomenal day. A few of the Astros players for 21. I think it was Cal Tucker, Jeremy Peña. Dang, you put me on the spot. You're actually counting.
Well, I mean,
Bracamontes.
you're naming it.
It's balloon.
Balloons.
What?
It's not my
How,
birthday. I'll tell you that right now.
how did that come out?
I don't know. Keep counting though. It's freaking me out. It's like if the clown is coming for me.
It probably is.
Pennywise.
Jose Altuve.
3.
Bracamonte. Espada.
No, but Bracamonte is not on that list.
Oh, not on this. No, it wasn't Bracamonte. It was a hitting coach.
Come on, you're there all the time. You gotta know this guy's name.
Cintron.
There it is, Cintron.
Who am I missing? Diaz.
Actually, missing 2 more. I think. No, not Diaz. Which ones have you said already?
I said Cal Tucker, Cintron, Jose Altuve, Jeremy Peña, Espada. Yeah.
Okay, 5. Yeah, I think you're missing 2.
Do you know the other 2?
Victor Caratini.
Puerto Rican, of course. I don't know why I missed
3 actually. Yordan Alvarez, another one.
Okay.
Mauricio Dubon.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I had it, I lost my train of thought, but I would have got it. I wouldn't have.
The balloons kind of killed you there. I don't know where the hell those came from, dude. I'll be honest with you. That freaked me out a little too.
I didn't press anything either on my end.
I didn't press shit on my end either, so that's kind of like
crazy. That's crazy. But like, I know we touched on it a little bit, but did you see that Garrett Cole walking Rafael Devers situation with
that boy threw
nobody on
through the floor like that, like Scott Service?
But this comes from a reporter asking Garrett Cole which Latino player has been the hardest, to pitch against, and he said Rafael Devers, and then goes on and walks him, but then that leads to what, like a 5-run inning after that. So it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I would have, if I'm Cole, I would have went to attack him. Yeah, he's had a great number on you, but there's no one on. A solo home run, I didn't think was going to hurt him either. It would have just gave the Sox a 1-0 or 2-0 lead.
Mm-hmm.
But it just shows, like, I want to say it shows you're weak.
Yeah,
like, it honestly does. Like,
yeah, I was thinking
you're going against an all-star. You're an all-star as well. You've been on the site. You were second in Cy Young in 2019. You are the number 1 guy in New York, and then you're gonna just throw a 4 to Rafael Devers. I think he hit him 2 in the first at bat, but I don't think it was intentional. I'm not 100%, but Brian Bayo kind of threw behind Aaron Judge too. So
okay, I was looking up.
A lot of things were going high on that part.
Did Brian Bayo have something to say about that? That's what I was looking for. I don't know if it
Brian
was
Abreu or Brian Bayo.
Brian Bayo.
Bayo did talk to the media after.
Do you know what he said? I think I said.
I want to say what he said. What I said was what he had mentioned. I want to say.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think Devers was even surprised too that he threw up a 4.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah, so it was like Brian Bayo and Gary Contention walking around for Devers showed a lot of weakness. Yeah, so yeah, like to me, it just shows you that you're not confident in your stuff. Like
exactly,
like you're right. Like you're an all-star, he's an all-star, and just to go with your point, nobody on hits a solo home run. Oh well,
so what? Yeah.
like you have Aaron Judge on that team. You have Juan Soto. They could easily turn the game around, tie it up, and one swing at the bat. but especially leading into a 5-run inning, like you're there scratching your head, it's like, why? We could have easily had 2 outs,
Yep.
or because Gary Cole, you're a great pitcher too. Like you know how to get outs, and or like if I'm Rafael Devers after every at bat, I'm and Gary Cole's pitching, I'm walking with my chest put out because I was like, I'm the big dog in this batter's box because obviously he's scared of me. That's what I mean. That's what I would think.
You're the Yankees ace though too. Like the
Exactly.
Yankees paid you big bucks
Yeah.
to get guys like this, and you're gonna throw a 4 out there. I mean, come on, bro. Like you just can't do that. And then not to mention too, George Steinbrenner was alive. Like Big Daddy Stein, like he was live. He'd be probably telling him shit. Like straight up.
Yeah.
The boss would have had told him some shit. I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it either. And then lastly, for those playoff seasons, I know we touched on the Astros playoffs, stuff like that. I don't know if you saw, but they're going to be having logos on their helmets. I think the Strauss.
Yeah, I think some European brand,
Yeah.
I want to say. Not 100% sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
Don't like it, honestly. I just don't. I don't know why baseball is doing this, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing against, like you could do that, like going to Mexico City or to London when they have those type of series out of the state. Don't do that for this, man. Come on, man. Like you can't do that. You just can't. That just looks like if you're playing in a freaking winter league. Nothing against the winter league, because that's great for development for players and coaches. Yeah. But leave that shit to the off season. Why are you gonna put it in the season? Like,
no. I know the Mexican league has sponsorships on helmets, pants, exactly. Jerseys, and yeah. I mean, I don't like it either. It's like kind of I'm gonna say like an eyesore, but it kind of is. Like just having like the Astros Navy helmet and having a red sticker on the side, like it's just
It wouldn't make sense. Maybe do that. You could honestly, if I would say, I'd maybe do it for the WBC. Maybe do it for that, but I wouldn't do it. Come on, during the postseason?
Or yeah,
no.
I'm sure MLB got some big bucks on that one.
I mean, you already got teams putting sponsor patches on their damn sleeves. Can't even put the damn like. I remember, was it the Astros that had the 60-year? But oh no, they did wear it before they put the sponsor patches last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's just unacceptable. I just do not like it because I'm pretty sure the Rangers could have put the All-Star logo right there because they were doing the All-Star game this year because that's what the Mariners did in 22.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers could have done the same thing for 23, but now they're putting. I don't even know who the sponsor was for Texas this year. I don't know if it was Whataburger or Chicken Express. I mean, I just don't like it. I understand doing for the teams, but come on, man. You're throwing a big red stripe. Looks like stripes, honestly, on a helmet, like the gas station.
Yeah, like the Supreme sign.
Supreme. That's a good one. Supreme. Oh man, yeah. This was a long episode. Now we're at 13 minutes.
It's already the fourth quarter.
Got an update on the Astros game before we head off.
Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, you want an update or you have an update?
I don't have an update. Do you have an update?
Oh, it's still. I think it's still 1-0. Let me see. Yeah, still 1-0. Astros only have one hit off Yordan Alvarez, and that one hit came from Jose Altuve.
Yeah, have to see what they're going to do. I think the best pitching matchup in this series, though, is going to be Framber and Dylan Cease. That's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah. Tune into that one. Yeah.
Definitely. 5:40 start time on that one. But that is the end of our show. An hour and 14 minutes in the book.
I said the one this season?
Yeah, this is probably the longest one. Probably be an hour and 15 if I don't hurry up. So make sure you follow us at the podcast platforms below that we got there. Apple, Spotify, social media as well. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you see us, we're there. Of course, we have the interviews with these players. We'll make sure to throw out that content as well as the other stuff that we throw out. Angel, you got anything before we go?
No, just thank you for listening. Appreciate it. I love support. Big crowd, especially with the Astros playing. So that just shows, we're doing something right. So, so thank you for tuning in while the game is on. And appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people got the game right here, and then their phones or vice versa. I don't know. But until then, we'll give you the recap of that Padres series and then the last homestand for the Astros in 2024 as they will be going against the Angels and the Mariners. So we'll give you that preview for the Angels coming up. But till then, y'all stay safe. Have a great week.
Appreciate